Anime. Welcome to the channel. I'm streaming because I don't really have anything going on right now, so I have some free time. It's quiet. I'm just kind of low key chilling. A couple things didn't happen. I thought it was gonna happen today, so it's a little slower in my actual day. So I'm like, all right, cool. We're gonna hit some stream time. So what's up? Welcome, welcome. We're here. I hope you guys are enjoying the title of the streams. The goal this year is to create the most ridiculous anime titles along with the stream title. So if you guys are enjoying the stream titles, please let us know. Um, we're having fun with it, so we gonna keep going. It's just what up, Colorado. It's kind of just us like playing with the fact that what up, Miracle Draws that these anime titles are getting a bit ridiculous. So that's why our stream titles are very long right now. We're just playing with the fact that the anime titles are getting way too ridiculously long. Like they're getting bad. So we just want to play with that a little bit. I'm so busy I keep forgetting about AX. There's no worries. That's why I'm here. All right, you feel me? We here. We here because we don't want you guys to forget. We're here because we're gonna make sure everybody is able to plan accordingly. Now, with that being said, um, was there really any new AX news? Not really. So that's why today's stream is titled what it is. We kind of do this every year. I try to specifically do this before tickets come out, and that's tell you guys how much Anime Expo is. Now, before we get into that, just a couple quick things. Your boy called it, okay? I called it last stream that literally, like, yo, it feels like the it feels like they're listening to me because I felt like there was some Hitman Reborn stuff coming. And literally out of nowhere, I get a notification that Hitman Reborn 20th anniversary, March 20th announcement coming. And I'm like, oh, they're bringing the show back. I don't know if they're bringing the show back. I don't know if they're bringing a one off. I don't know if they're going to do a game. But I now feel like I was right. I thought we would have to wait till Anime Expo, but now I'm a little bit more confident that whatever is going to happen with Hitman Reborn will also happen. They'll have a panel at Anime Expo. Their studio will, and they'll do something with Reborn, or they're going to, in general, have their own panel at AX this year. I kind of feel like that's where things are going to be leaning. So I'm messing with the mic a little bit. So if you guys can't hear me, just let me know. But I feel like that's kind of where we're going. So shout out to Hitman Reborn. I hope we get something new with that. Um, now your boy's been looking. Besides applications, like there's the voice actor application open. That's for people who are voice actors who want to do autograph signings. You actually have to apply to have a table at Anime Expo so you can do your own autograph signings. So we have that. There's Masquerade applications that is finally open as well. So we're getting there. We're at the application phase. We're not necessarily at the announcement phase. As the announcements come out, you guys know I will put them out for you guys to see. We will talk about them as they come out. But right now, it's not a lot of announcements. This is expected. This is the normal cycle for AX, especially since, I mean, after a couple years ago when they started doing tickets in January, this is kind of what we expect. Application phase in December, January, then tickets go on sale in January, get the hotel block. Then around Marchish, we'll probably start to get more info on guests. We'll get more info on performances and stuff like that, map layout, those type of things start to come out later in the spring. So look forward to that. But right now, we don't have that. Now, we're going to talk about how expensive Anime Expo is. If you guys have been before, feel free to chime in at any time. We're going to switch screens and go to the chat screen. The reason I'm working on the chat screen today is because, excuse my nose, I have a cold. I'm trying to get over it. But the reason we're using this screen is I want the chat to be able to be shown up here so that if someone has any questions, you guys can maybe, I can see it easier. And also, I want other people when they watch this video to see some of these responses so they know some things if I miss something. Now, first of all, why would you want to go to Anime Expo is the biggest question. Simply put, just straightforward as possible. Anime Expo is the biggest anime convention in North America. Period. It's like no debate. It is also the most exclusive convention for anime in North America. It's just that good. It's not just that it's a big convention, it's the fact that they bring in all the studios from Japan, the voice actors from Japan. They bring in the producers, they bring in movies and promos and things that we're not going to hear about for months. There are massive premieres, like movie premieres, done at this convention. So it is literally by far the biggest anime convention. It's also the most exclusive anime convention because there are figures produced just for this convention. Like there are literally limited edition figures that they are made for specifically just to be at this con. Like it's that big. So just on a size scale, just on a benefit scale, that's why you would want to go. It's just a massive, massive anime convention, and you get to be around your people for a couple days. Like it's about 100,000 weebs, bro. 100,000 just anime fans nerding all the way out. So it's dope. It's something that I would definitely say is really cool. So I would go again, and we are, but I also would recommend it for other people. Now, here's the trick. A lot of people bait going because they don't know how expensive it is. We're going to break down the expenses for Anime Expo in just a moment. But I did have one more thing to say. This year's going to be interesting. Something's happening next week that usually doesn't happen till February or March. And I'm wondering how it's going to impact Anime Expo ticket sale. You can tell that it's life changing for some of the weaves, and you feel the grand presence of the anime at Anime Expo. Exactly. It is so dope. Shout out AV3 Gaming. Shout out Eric. Eric has got a gift for me. I got to give him. It's the only reason you guys haven't seen him on video lately is because I got a gift that I got to give him, and then he'll get back to doing what he's got to do. So I was think I'm trying to go see him this weekend. We're going to see. But literally, it's life changing for weaves. It is the dopest. The first time I went, I just knew it was something cool that I always wanted to go back to, so it was very much worth it. So it's definitely fun. Now, what I was saying was something is happening next week that normally happens in February or March, and I'm wondering how it's going to impact ticket sales for Anime Expo. The reason I say this is one of the largest anime conventions on the East Coast has decided to put their sale of their tickets the week before Anime Expo tickets. Not even a full week, days before. So I don't know how this is going to work. So I'm in a lot of notification groups and stuff. Anime NYC, which is arguably the second biggest anime convention in the US right now, and they're growing steadily. They are growing steadily. They're doing dub premieres already, and they're trying to work their way up to sub premieres, but they're doing dub premieres at this con already. They are selling their tickets on January 16th. Anime Expo tickets going to sell January 20th. So this is about to be really interesting to see how Anime NYC tickets affect Anime Expo ticket sales. Because normally the two cons are about a month or so, month and a half away from each other, but usually you got a little bit of time in between to get the ticket if you want to go do both. Because some people will hit Anime Expo and then a month and a half or so later go hit Anime NYC, especially if you live on the East Coast. You'll fly to the West Coast, fly back. You can usually drive to the Anime NYC or something and check that out. But, and don't get me wrong, the convention itself is in August. So it's not like that's any different. The convention for Anime NYC, it used to be November. It was, I think, October. Now it's in August. But the biggest thing was they changed their ticket sale date. So I'm gonna change my screen real quick so you guys can see this. Um, rotation, that one. I gotta figure out how to stop this Chrome pop up from happening. I hate it. But hey, check this out. So, Anime NYC tickets go on sale January 16th. Okay, and their hotel block is around the same time. This is interesting because their ticket prices are pretty much identical for the most part to Anime Expo ticket prices. Now, we're going to talk about Anime Expo again in full, how much it costs, but I'm thinking Anime Expo tickets may reach this number. Last year tickets, I think, were 150, 155, and then after taxes, it was like 160, 165. There's a chance we hit that 175 number this year, either pre taxes or after taxes, with the Anime Expo ticket. And then here are their single day ticket costs. The one big difference for Anime NYC is they still have their VIP Premier badge. And for some reason, Anime Expo does not. I wish they did. I wish they would bring it back. But as far as I can tell, they are not bringing it back. It is not changing. And they haven't needed it. They've sold so many things. The entrances are smooth for everybody. No one's waiting a long time. So they've kind of fixed a lot of the perks that came with the badge while also reducing the need for extra spending for themselves for this con. So I don't know if that'll happen. But the fact that their tickets go on sale the week before when their prices are pretty identical to Anime Expo is going to be very interesting to see how this affects the Anime Expo ticket sales because this may steal some of the East Coast audience that attends this con. Like Anime Expo usually pulls some of us from the East Coast to the West Coast, and it still will, of course. But their ticket sale being the literal days before Anime Expo ticket sales is going to be very interesting to see how many people from the East Coast may choose to stay put and go to Anime NYC. What was the premium badges for Anime Expo? They were called the Premier Badge, Colorado. So I did the first time I went to Anime Expo, first two times actually, I got the Premier Badge. Easily worth it. So I know last year I think Colorado was your first time at Anime Expo, and the Premier Badge, bro, it was worth it. The lines used to be really bad. The lines at Anime Expo used to be catastrophically bad. I'm talking about people waiting 6 to 8 hours just to get into the con. And I'm not joking. I'm not exaggerating. Like literally waiting 6 to 8 hours to enter the convention center. By the time some people were getting in the building, the dealer hall would have was closed. It was that crazy. Like they were waiting line all day, and by the time they got inside, the dealer's hall was closed because they previously had three entrances for Anime Expo. A long time ago, they only had the three. They had the main entrance, which was only one door. Everyone had to go through. 100,000 people, one door. Then they had the VIP premiere entrance, where you could go through if you had a premiere badge. If you were ADA or if you were industry, you could go through the premiere entrances. And then they had the vendor entrance. And even that was bad. You had vendors who had to wait hours to get into the building to get to their booths. Like it was bad. It was really bad. Kudos to Anime Expo for fixing all that. It was it was insane. And them creating more entrances, streamlining the ticket process, it all helped fix all of that. So the last two Anime Expos, no line con, everything's been super fucking smooth. So shout out to them. The Premier Badge was dope because you got to skip the line. You got a discount on all the Anime Expo merchandise. So we got like 10 or 20% off all the Anime Expo merch. They gave us like a $50 credit to use for like a concert or an event. You got a swag bag. They gave us a premier lounge with free drinks. And artists and producers and stuff would just stop by the lounge and just sign autographs for free and stuff. Like it was a cool experience to have that badge. And honestly, I wish they bring it back. But people abuse that by like giving their friends some of the free drinks out of there, which I don't. I mean, cool, whatever. But the biggest issue where people were being dicks to other people. Premiere badge people, and I would call them out myself, were being dicks about it. Because one of the things it told us was like, hey, show up 2 hours ahead of time, show up at least 30 to 45 minutes ahead of time. You can get into the lounge, a panel, and it's no problem. It is if the line is capped and there's not enough space for you because the premiere line only allows so many premiere fans, and people would just throw fits about it. Then they would belittle the other attendees, talk down to them. It was bad. It was bad. Some people have those attitudes, and it's not good to be like that towards other people, so they got rid of it in general. It must have been really good now because the only time I've been in line was for exhibits. Yeah, bro. You know what? Before we get into this pricing, let me show you something. I'll show you how bad it was. I have a short from years ago, bro. From like my first AX on my YouTube somewhere. Let's see if we can find it. That is Resonance into the con. So this was us getting the premiere badge, right, bro? This is the attendees waiting downstairs to come in. This line wrapped all the way around the building, bro. All the way around. I got one more thing to show you, and show you how bad it was. But this is people waiting to get inside the building, bro. And we were inside, so that was another thing. We got to go into the exhibit hall like an hour earlier than everyone else. So all those exclusives, limited editions and stuff, we were able to go buy them before other people even enter the building. I would literally walk the vendor floor, stop, and walk back to my hotel and back in the building before other people had come into the building one time. Like it was different, bro. It was bad. I'm glad they fixed it. I am so happy they fixed it. But let's see if I can find it. Here we go. We got a lot of Anime Expo videos. First of all, that is not one of ours. How that ended up in our playlist. We're gonna remove that immediately. Let's see. All right, so this was me and Eric's first time going to Anime Expo, like our first con, I think. Well, one of the first ones we went to. I don't know if this is the first one, but it's definitely one of the first ones. I think we went to one before this. Okay, so here's the line, bro. Last year I went straight in to the outdoor area instead. It's easier now. It's so much easier, American Draws, to move around. It is so much easier to get around everywhere. People go to different parts of the building now, and now that they expanded, they've pulled the crowd around the building, so it's so much easier to move around. This was me upstairs. Now I'm already in the building. I'm in the convention center. I'm just looking outside at the line. This is they had one entrance to get in. Now, if you guys have been to Anime Expo, this is the entrance that is the main entrance, as they would call it. It's between the Staples Center and the convention center. This is the main door. That line went all the way up the street this way. And then, as you guys will see, it goes all the way down the street. Bro, this line went for miles. I wish I was joking, but it literally went for miles, fam. I wonder if I can find this dude's video. Probably not. I will show you guys how bad it was, but the line was like really, really bad. Yeah, I can't find it. Oh yeah, here we go. 12 minutes. We gonna fix the speed on this though, cause playback speed. Let's go 4 times the speed. Show you guys the line. This is the line, mind you. This is two lines, bro. The line has looped back around. There are people going this way and people going this way. The line has already folded, so it's going both directions. This was how bad the line at Anime Expo used to be. And this is after people have already waited hours in line. Flo just gave up. He had already been waiting in line for like 4 hours and was just like, yo, I'm not doing this anymore. Yes, look how bad this is, bro. This is how they've come a long way. Shout out to them for fixing this, but this is how horrible it used to be. Um, right. You see his American draw. You see how bad. You know how bad this was. It was bad. This was horrible. I don't know how we got through this. Now this is the underpass. Again, we haven't gotten to the single file line yet. We're still having people come back. The line is still two-sided. We haven't even gotten to where the line is just one line. And another issue they had during this time is no one knew where to line up at. So everyone was like lining up at different places. Imagine if you were trying to go see the Demon Slayer premiere or something. That fucking happened too. People were like, I remember the My Hero movie. Motherfuckers couldn't even get in line for the My Hero movie because it was that long. Like, it was crazy. They couldn't even get in the building for My Hero. Okay, so we have finally made it to single file point, and you would think, oh, the entrance is right there. Nah, fam. We finally made it to single line, but we are nowhere near this. We're still on one side entrance, and people are still trying to find the end of the line. So the people going the other way now are literally just trying to find the end of the line so they can get in line to buy tickets or get in line to go in the building. Also, this is previous to Anime Expo always mailing out the tickets too. Because before you used to have to pick your badge up first, and then you could go get in line and stuff. It was rough, man. It was a rough convention in the beginning. Bro, we're still going. Shout out to Danger Dogs, as Miracle Draws would say. It was rough. How did they fix the lines though? Um, they fixed the lines by creating more interests. So instead of us having the premier badge and industry interests and all this other stuff, what they did was they took more of the interests from the building that only either the vendors were using, only the ADA was using, only the VIP was using. They got and they took those and opened up all those to the general public. So they changed all the badges to RFID scanning, which helped dramatically with entrance things because it was so much quicker to get inside that way. Then they put those RFID badge scanners at multiple entrances into the convention center. For some reason, they were only running one entrance into the convention center, and I don't know why. I don't know if it was safety or what. But then they decided, you know what? Let's make more entrance points. So now we have 5 entrance points. But then what they also did, which was smart, they started investing in using the JW Marriott and they started using the Peacock Theater so much more. Because now, if you move your major panels to the Peacock Theater and to the JW Marriott, the crowds who are coming for that very first big panel of the morning aren't going to go to the convention center. They're going to go straight to the JW Marriott and to the Peacock Theater. The people who want to shop and go to the game room are going to go to the entrances. While the people who want to go to panels are immediately going to go to the bigger panel rooms, and it opened up the building that way because you split the crowd around the building to get into multiple entrances, and then you split the crowd over to a different location to pull some of them away. So it just made it so much better. Surprised no one has umbrellas for the heat like a common cat. There were a sea of umbrellas, and that helped a ton at airline time. Because we don't do that in the U.S. I don't think we do that in the U.S. Period, though. I think that's a big thing that they do that we just don't. We don't pull out umbrellas until it's a rainy day. They pull out umbrellas when it's hot. They literally just use umbrellas to block the sun, and that's just not something we do. I think it's something we should do, but it's just not something we do. But that's they fixed this. This was how bad it was. Now, mind you, under this tent, this line is going back and forth like 8 or 9 times on top of the single line he's going through. And then there's a second line over there. So wait. So here's a big thing. You see this door right here? This door right here is now an entrance that we use to go in and out of the con. Previously, it was not. It was just an exit area, but you couldn't go into the building this way. So that was something they opened up, was giving more areas. This is only for people to go all the way back to the front of the building, all the way to around to the other side and go in that one door. So that it was bad. It was really bad. They fixed this. Now there are 5 entrances to get into the building. So don't scare yourselves thinking that you're going to be waiting a long. I think that's why some people haven't come back to the convention yet. Is Anime Expo got so bad up until about 2023, I think is when they fixed it. It got so bad up until that point that people just weren't, they were scared to come back. And then in 2023, we had a good Anime Expo. And in 24, we had a good Anime Expo. And in 25, last year's Anime Expo for me, it was really, really good. So they've done so much better that now people are slowly coming back. But again, I'm wondering how the Anime NYC thing is going to affect this because Anime NYC is a big con. It's not like it's just another Comic Con around the corner. Like Anime NYC carries some weight. So we're going to see how much of a crowd they pull from everyone. Now, let's get back to basics. How much does Anime Expo cost? Quite a bit. I'm not going to hold you. I got a general calculator on the stream. Man, hopefully it won't be too hot this summer. I plan on cosplaying a male bomb devil. 2023 was a bit crazy in that one hallway leading from the south hall to west hall. I was stuck for about 30 minutes. Yeah, okay, they had to fix that too, because that was like one of their last big hiccups was that hallway that goes from one building to the other. It was really packed with people, and they did a lot better job having moving the panels from South Hall over to the JW Marriott stuff alleviated a lot of that foot traffic because now instead of taking the hall to get around to the panels that are on the other side, people are literally just leaving the building and walking around the front and walking outside. So it opened up that a lot. But I do know what she's talking about. That hallway was rough. Um, and as for your cosplay, Colorado, you should. I don't know what the weather's going to be. I will say the weather we've had the past couple AXs has been pretty good. It's been really good. I don't think they do cheap capsule hotels because then you would have some homeless people trying to stay in some of those capsule hotels, and then you would have a bigger issue on your hand. I would be all for it. I think it would be a good idea, but I do think they would they'd find some way to raise the price on that too. They'd be like, "Yo, it's $75 a night to stay in this instead of like 30." That's crazy. All right, so how much is Anime Expo? We will keep a running total as we talk about expenses that I have incurred personally for Anime Expo, and many of us have. Let's start with the basics. True, it would be neat though. I agree. It would be neat. It would be neat if they had it. It would be convenient as hell too. Um, let's start with the basics. Ticket costs. Ticket costs for Anime Expo. It's probably gonna run you 175. We're gonna We're gonna go ahead and say this is $175 for ticket cost. Matter of fact, we'll big screen this. Why not? $175 for ticket cost. This is something you can't avoid. We're going to put prices of things you can't avoid. Okay, we're gonna try to do things you can't avoid and minor expenses that you may incur, but we'll see how it goes. This number normally, when typed up, unfortunately comes to about 3K. And we'll show you how we get to that 3K. But Anime Expo, usually, even talking to people who we went with last year, even talking to people the year before that, it's about 3K if you're traveling. Now, understand my cost for Anime Expo may be adjusted for your needs based on a couple factors. One, if you live on the West Coast, this number may be reduced dramatically because you might not need a hotel. You might be able to just commute or you just, stay with a family member. So you might not need a hotel. You may need a hotel, but you may do a roommate situation. So that price may be reduced as well. Or you may not need a flight. There are different things that will affect this number. But as for someone who's traveling, and that's what I'm gonna build this number off of, is as someone who's traveling, this is the kind of pricing you can expect. So you're gonna need $175 for your ticket. All right. Next, you're gonna need $400 for your flight. Round trip flight. You're not ducking this. It's usually somewhere between $300 and $400. You're not ducking it. You gotta have a round ticket flight, and this is usually something with a stop in it too. So you gotta have it. Yeah, I live 15 minutes away. I just take the subway. Super convenient for the locals. Yeah, exactly, exactly. There's gonna be some outliers here that some of you guys ain't got to deal with. Now, after you have flown to LA, well, before you fly to LA, there's two things you gotta remember. One, you're gonna be in LA for a couple of days, so you gotta take a suitcase. The reason you don't want to just take a carry-on is one, you're gonna be in LA for a couple of days, so bring enough clothes and multiple shoes if you need them and cosplay. So you gotta have a suitcase. And two, you do want to bring a bigger suitcase only because once you get there, you will probably buy stuff. And the stuff you don't buy, bro, you will get bags upon bags of free stuff. People always say bring a bag to Anime Expo. For what? For why? When we entered the building, they gave us a bag. We didn't get 3 feet away from the entrance before they gave us a bag. Literally, as soon as we walked in. Hey guys, welcome. Here's a free bag. Don't bring bags. If you want to bring a bottle of water, I understand. But you don't need to bring a bag. It's unnecessary. They will give you a bag as soon as you enter the building, and you're going to get free bags all the time, bro. All the time. Okay? So I'm going to pin Eric's expense list for you because Eric has done the roommate thing. So his may help people who do the roommate sharing. So we put that in. I have way too many AX totes. Exactly. Jealous I didn't get those Demon Slayer tote bags up. I got both of those. I got both of those. Yeah, I got both of those. I got a bunch of. I got the Demon Slayer. I got everything, and I got the free Crunchyroll backpacks. I got 2 of those. I gave one to my son, but I got the free Crunchyroll backpacks too. Like it's a bunch of shit you get for free. Like I can't count. By the end of the con, me and Eric and our friend were all looking at each other and spreading the free stuff throughout everyone's bags because we had so much free stuff that they just give you. Just bags and fans and pins and posters and sometimes figures if you're at the right enough booth. Like there's so much free stuff, bro. So much free stuff. All right, so you're gonna need a suitcase. To check your suitcase, it's gonna be $50 both ways. So 50 for one way, 50 another way. Okay? That's for your suitcase. Now, once you land, Again, can you split the Uber? Yes. Can you take a train? Can you take a subway? Yes, but I'm taking the most quickest logical route for people who do not understand train directions or how to use the shuttle or metro. If you don't know that, but you know how to put an address in Uber or Lyft and get there, you're looking at this amount most of the time. 45 there, 45 back to the airport when you're done. Now, the benefit of this is you only do this one time. Okay. Now, if you're moving around town to do other stuff, that's on you. But generally speaking, you only have to do this one time. You Uber to the hotel. Stuff's there. You can walk anywhere. You Uber back from the hotel to the airport. All good. Metro is super easy. See, Ro knows eventually, and don't get it twisted, guys. Once we get closer to the con, we will have like a LA. I'm doing it this year. I'm gonna reach out to a lot of our LA subscribers and be like, hey, give me some instructions so I can post them on the channel so people can know. I'm gonna put it in our posts that we have and on our Instagram so people can just use them. And fly away, you have to just type your debit card on the button. So again, there are other options for sure. Now, will you buy food and stuff in the airport? Yes, I won't put that in here only because a good bit of us don't spend any money in the airport because it's expensive as fuck. So I don't even recommend spending in the airport if you don't have to. And most people straight flight, sleep, whatever. So I'm not gonna put any airport money in here. Now, once you get to the convention location, this is where things are expensive. A lot of these hotels say, I swear to God, I don't know why it says it, especially even the JW Marriott, it doesn't have any kind of incidental deposit or security deposit or resort thing listed, but it has it, bro. Majority of the security deposits at these hotels are 125 a night. Okay. So if you're staying at the JW, you're staying at the residence, AC, you're staying at any of these hotels. Incidental is 125 per night. So if you're staying 5 nights, the incidental is $600. Now, logically, some airports be having good food though. Some do, some do. What if we didn't like just didn't eat during the whole trip? That actually does happen, Colorado. Some people go on a trip and don't eat at all. There are legendary weebs who don't eat any food during the entire con, and those people get fairly sick. Don't do that. And some airports do the banging food. Or if you're catching an early enough flight, you catch McDonald's before you get to the airport, and then you go to sleep. So there's an option there too. So you could put airport food in here. I'm gonna just operate that you guys not gonna be spending a bunch of money at the airport. You're gonna try to spend your money the best you can in AX. Now we can add this into our food expense just because we do base our food expense on 3 meals a day because that's the healthy way to do this shit when we get to it. But back to the hotel deposit. So they don't say it, but most hotels are 125 a night deposit. So ideally, you're gonna check in on Wednesday. And most people is going to check out on Sunday. I got to talk to Eric to verify again if we're checking out on Sunday or Monday. Now, it usually does do better flight wise for a lot of people if you fly out on Monday versus Sunday. You just pick an early enough flight on Sunday. So if you stay till Monday, you're staying 5 nights. That is Wednesday night, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday night. 5 nights. So you're looking at a $600 deposit if you decide to stay every night of the con and stay the day before. So every night of the con, the day before the con, $600 deposit. And the room, that's the deposit. Mind you, you get that back, but I'm going to include this in the number because you want to know how much you need total, not how much you're going to get back. You want to know how much you need total. I hope AX Crossing and a night market come back. I agree. It's nice as hell. The music is dope. The environment is cool. But I agree with you the most when you say it's expensive. It is. I spent like $50 on some kakeguri. And all I had was one kakigiri, some rice, and a drink, and it was $50. So very expensive, but it was good. Um, we get if we get the earlier flights, we can look at it, but I'd rather just stay Sunday and leave Monday morning. Agreed, Eric. I think that's what we're going to do too. It makes more sense. Just catch an earlier flight Monday. Because it just makes more sense to stay Sunday night. There is a lot of stuff that does. Last year, especially, I'm glad we stayed Sunday. There were a lot of premieres on Sunday. There were a lot of premieres on Sunday, so it was worth staying for. There was at least 4 or 5 premieres Sunday morning. Sunday throughout the day, so it was worth staying. Normally, Anime Expo doesn't have any premieres on Sunday, but there were premieres on Sunday this year. Now, 6 nights at a 5 nights at a hotel. On average, these hotels are $225 a night. Okay, some are a little less, some are like 205, some are a little more. They're like 245. On average, they're 225 a night. So if we're gonna do 5 nights, that is $1,000. So you're looking at 1125 for 5 nights at these hotels plus tax. So you're probably looking at 1250 for a hotel. After you've done all your nights, you're probably looking at around 1250. When we book hotels, mind you, your entire hotel cost will be displayed for you. Anime Expo, along with the state of California and LA particular, has now required for all resort fees and taxes to be included in the booking of the hotel room. So the price you see when you book your hotel room is the price of the stay, minus it doesn't have the security deposit in it, but it's supposed to. But it don't. It does have all the taxes and resort fees in the total cost. They have to get it. They have to put it there. The state of California and the city of LA has made it so they have to put it in the cost. Again, they don't have the resort fee. I'm doing 3 nights at JW, 2 days at Con. Yes. Can you book hotel with a debit card? Yes. You can use, as long as the debit card has a Visa or MasterCard logo, you can use your debit card to book the hotel. You just have to make sure that it has a Visa or MasterCard logo. Again, and Colorado, remember, we're not charged, for you guys who do not know, we are not charged for our hotel booking until we check into the hotel. They do not take any money for your hotel early. You cannot pay for your room in advance. You cannot pay for this hotel room until you arrive at the convention. Okay, you have to show. Once we get there, you can pay for it. And then in April, we get a text that if you cancel, we'll get a text or email, whatever. It will tell you if you cancel your reservation after this point, then your card is going to be charged a cancellation fee. It's usually like $150, $200, or whatever the first night stay is at that hotel. But after that date, they say there's a fee to cancel. Inside trade secret. There's a fee to cancel if you cancel through the hotel booking website. If you wait till our reservations are transferred over, you still have an opportunity to call said hotel to notify them and to cancel the room if you wait until our reservations are transferred over. You can still cancel your room. I don't recommend that. If you're going to cancel, if you have any inkling you're going to cancel, do it before the time runs out. That way, if you need help from Anime Expo or anyone at the booking area, they can help you. But you can cancel with the hotel directly after the reservations have been transferred over, because once reservations have been transferred over, everything is then controlled by the hotel itself. But I didn't know that. I thought it charges you when you book through the hotel block at the time. Yeah, I remember my friend had to cancel. He got charged for the fee twice since he did 2 hotels. Yeah, they'll charge you if you cancel through the booking block after a certain time, after a certain date. They will charge you. So wait, if you miss the deadline to transfer to cancel before the date, then just wait until your reservation is transferred to the hotel. You will receive an email from the hotel, like a welcome email saying, "Hey, we're happy to have you," or something. when your reservation has been transferred to the hotel. Mr. J Way, no, we do not pay during booking. The only thing, excuse me, sorry, something come up in my throat. The only thing that we are paying for on the 20th is our ticket. We do pay for our Anime Expo tickets on the 20th. The reason you have to pay for your ticket is once you have your ticket, you get a registration code that shows your purchase of your ticket. You need that registration number to attach it to your hotel booking. So you have to have that number when you book your hotel. That way, if you don't have that number or it's not put in there properly, they'll notify you to correct it, but you have to do it. Yeah, he canceled a month before the convention, had to find another friend and a different hotel to get it. So chaotic, but everything worked out when we got there. Good, good, good. I'm glad it worked out for you guys. But no, we don't pay for hotel at all. We're living on the 20th. We're only booking our hotel. So we give them a card number. Yeah. So there's no hotel. There's no charge, whatever. There's no holding fee. None of that. They just need a card number to attach to your reservation. We are not charged anything for the hotel until we check in. So just so you guys know that. Again, we're not charged for hotels until we check in. But this is what the hotel costs. Now, that's flight, that's your travel, that's the hotel. Here's where things get a little weird, okay? Once you check into your hotel room, now comes the daily living expenses for Anime Expo. This is where you can adjust and fix things yourself based on your old food preferences. But generally speaking, from going to LA multiple times and dealing with this multiple times, and last year being way more expensive than I remember, way more the food wise. Um, I would say you want to, I ain't joking when I say this, you probably want to allocate about $25 a day for meals. And that's just me being generous. That's saying like, hey, even if you only want to spend 10 to 15 on breakfast, if you want to spend 20 to 25 on lunch and then 20 and then 30 plus on dinner, if you want to try to do like 20, 20, 20 and try to keep it at 60, it is possible, but it is very expensive. You want to try, I got to shoot for the number that makes the most sense. I can see you spending 10 to 15 on breakfast. I can see you spending 20 to 25 on lunch, and I can see you spending 30 to 35 on dinner. Because of that, I'm going to say each meal rounds out to about $25 a meal. So you're looking at about $75 a day in food. That's if you're not doing extra tips. You're not out here buying a ton of drinks. I ain't telling you how to spend your money. I'm just doing the basics. If you're talking about a basic $75 food limit per day, and I think that's a good limit to have. Personally, I think $75 a day allocated for food. If you just want to put your food budget on a separate card, it's not a bad idea. Even if you want to aim for $100 per day for food on that specific card, that includes your extra drinks and stuff like that. If you aim for $100 a day per food, you'll be perfect. Because most people don't eat breakfast because we get up late for the con, but definitely most people do eat lunch and most people definitely eat dinner. So, and we buy snacks, you buy drinks throughout the day. So, honestly, saying $100 a day for food is not a bad idea. We're going to stick with that number this year because I don't want anyone being surprised. I think it'd be a good idea for people to shoot for that number so that their food expenses, even if you don't spend that, now you got extra spending money that you can use for the con. Um, is the JW noisy? I heard there were panels at the hotel and Crunchyroll bar. Don't want to be hearing that while sleeping. Not at all. Mr. J Way, you don't hear none of that. So I think there's a misconception on how the hotel is set up. So the Crunchyroll bar is in the lobby of the hotel. You don't hear that at all when you're upstairs. You do not hear the lobby at all. And the panel rooms are below Again, they're also below the hotel rooms and off to the side a little bit. So you don't hear that at all either. So you don't hear any panels. You will not hear the Crunchyroll bar. You don't hear the lobby at all. You don't hear any of that when you're upstairs. So don't worry about that. You won't hear anything. If you aren't worried about money, get some breakfast at Bluestone Lane. Amazing food and smoothies there. See, that's where the connections come in. We're getting food recommendations out here for you guys. Like I said, we're gonna do a full like. I'm gonna try to hit up Ro, Abraham, some other people. We're gonna try to do a full like LA recommendation stream for you guys before the con. But no, you won't hear anything. We're gonna allocate about $100 a day. Now, Western parties different. You will hear Western parties. That's different, right? They loud. I just read a thread the other day where they were talking about the Western parties. I don't know how the Western party situation is going to work this year. They may have fully gotten rid of parties at the Westin. I do not know. I do not know. Last year they went a little crazy. I mean, the Western parties are always wild, but last year I'm talking about triple poles on the roof. I'm talking about DJs up there, fights, girls walking around with pink signs where like $10 I'll sit on you, $100 I'll spit in your mouth. Like it was wild. They had some parties at the Westin last year. Like if you're looking for the craziest situations to walk into, the Westin is the hotel you want to stay at. Um, that hotel I wouldn't recommend for good sleep because if they're not partying on the roof, they partying in the rooms. So yeah, the Westin's a different playground. I'm not gonna pretend. That's a different animal. All right. So we're talking about 5 days of staying, $100 a day per food. So we're talking about another $500 in food. So we're $500 for your food budget. So we're at 3,100. I knew the con was a little bit more expensive now, but I kind of figured we just go in there. Again, part of this number is the $600 you're allocating for your security deposit. So if you factor that in, you'll get that 600 back. So it brings our expenses down a little bit. We'll subtract that at the end so you guys know what you're looking for, but I'm just telling you how much money you should already have saved or before you go. And what we'll do is I'll show you how these numbers come off over time to make it a little easier. Um, and the only other expense you really have to look out for. Well, there's two. All right, so one is optional. I'm not putting it in here. I'm gonna put it in here just in case. Parties. Some of you guys have been asking me about parties and events. A lot of the best parties for Anime Expo are not hosted at Anime Expo. Like I said, the Westin has parties; those are free. But Senpai Squad, Cosplay Deviants, some of the Expo people, some of the other companies that come into town, there are a lot of parties. They all run about $40 each. So if you're just talking about going to the con, this is the number. If you're talking about going to a party or two, this number increases. We're going to add that number in with your expenses. No, we're not. We're not putting that in there. That's not necessary. If you want to go to that party, bro, that's on you. You put that in your own spending money. That ain't for everybody, so I'm not putting it in this list. Um, the only other thing we're going to talk about is your shopping budget. Shopping budget for me, I feel like personally speaking, 300 to 400 is a good spending budget for regular stuff. 300, 400 gets you figures, posters, t-shirts, buys you a jacket. If you want an M range or if you want a kinfold jacket, these are like 100 to 150. So you can get you a jacket. You're buying gifts for other people. I would say comfortable spending budget where you felt good about being there for a couple of days. You felt good about buying dope stuff. I would say Personally, 300 is a good number of just buying gifts for people, buying a couple things you want. 300. Now, if you want to be him, your budget's your budget. All right. Now, if you wanna go there get the van on some shit, that's on you. I'm talking realistic numbers here for these people. I'm talking about what the people can expect to spend on stuff. You get a lot of free stuff, but you're gonna want to buy some stuff. I think comfortably 300 is a good number. 500 is a max number for a lot of people with buying stuff. 500 is a max number. So if you want to go somewhere between 400, that's what we're going to say is the number for spending money. And this is just, 400 is just bullshit buying figures, clothes, posters, uh, autographs, whatever. 400 is your spending money to buy just random stuff. Okay. That brings us to 3515. 500 is definitely a max number. Yeah, exactly. Are you going to any parties? Bro, bro. Like, don't crack. Feel me. But I'm 37, bro. I don't know if I'm going to any of these parties. I do not know. I ain't gonna sit here and pretend. I do not know. Hey, sometimes it's fun to go to the Westin and laugh at people. But I don't foresee me just buying a Senpai Squad ticket and chilling. I do go to the beer garden. I don't drink, but I do like hanging out at the beer garden. Oh, if you want a free party environment, the beer garden was dope as fuck last year. The moving the beer garden from the convention center to LA Live was genius. Was genius, bro. That's why I put 500 as the number because that covers parties, a signature, and 250 budget for the dealer room. Exactly. Like 100 is like for me, 500 is like a good max number. If you want to just max out your spending at the con, 500. You know what? We'll be safe. We'll add another 100 for the five, and that we're gonna stop there. Okay, we're gonna stop with that 500. But the beer garden was amazing last year. They put it in LA Live, Mr. J Way, and it's literally what it sounds like. It's this big tented up area where you can buy beers, you can buy sodas. They had food venues around us, and they have live music playing the entire con in the beer garden. And there was a list last year. There was a list of artists that were playing in the beer garden and their time slots for when they were playing. And literally, it was just a dope spot to just hang out at for free. And if you wanted to buy drinks, you could. Again, I don't drink, so a lot of people always try to buy me a drink. Water, bro. Water, soda, juice. I'm here for it. I don't drink alcohol, so that ain't for me. But 500 is the max, so we put 500 up there. Now we're going to do some things with this number. So this is the full amount of number that you're going to have to pull off personally to pay for Anime Expo. This is the full number, 3615. This number has changed since the original. There's always a Naruto opening song playing in the beer garden. So there is always at least one. At least one. I did a live stream last year from the beer garden on the channel. Do you know anybody who met their spouse or fling at the convention? Yes, 100%. Yes. There's well documented that some people will propose to people at Anime Expo. They, I know a couple couples who met at Anime Expo. The biggest thing I always tell people about meeting women at conventions or meeting a man at a convention, understand that at the convention, you're seeing the funnest, purest version of that person. You're meeting the happiest go lucky version of whoever that is. So if you go into that weekend and you just want to have fun and get to know someone, cool. Understand the person you're getting to know is the purest, happiest version of that person and not the everyday version of that person. What I mean by that is Anime Expo is a very stress free environment for a lot of us because we're there on vacation. But when we go back home, we got work, we got bills, we got family. There's a lot of other stuff in that. So the person that's outside of the happy go lucky might not be necessarily the same person that you had fun with. So I would never say go there looking to get a girlfriend, go there looking to get a boyfriend, go there looking for a spouse. But I would say have fun, enjoy yourself, and if you meet new people, you meet new people. But just understand that the person you are meeting is the happiest, purest version of said person. Um, Now, what we're gonna do? This is the max number you need to go to Anime Expo. The number has adjustments to it. This is the max number. The biggest misconception is you need all this in your bank account at one time. You do not need all this in the bank account at one time because the expenses are broken down over a couple months period. Okay? Let me show you how this is broke down. The 175, because we're gonna do some subtraction now. The 175, that comes off this month. So while this is a part of the Anime Expo expense, this isn't something we're going to worry about again because we're going to get rid of that in January. So by the time July comes around, this number ain't a factor no more. So we don't worry about that 175. It's gone, out of sight, out of mind. I encourage you personally, by the end of February, beginning of March, even myself, be done with your plane ticket. By the end of February, beginning of March, shoot for the end of February. Be done with your plane ticket. So if you shoot for the end of February, that 400 is gone. Again, it's spread out over time. Now, some of these other numbers you do need to have in the bank account when you go. You need that 500 for food in your bank account when you go. You need that 500 for spending in your bank account when you go. You need your hotel money and other things when you go. So those are the two expenses that you kind of can take away now and not have to worry about. The $600 is an expense you're going to get back. And with these are now I'm taking away some of the stuff that you'll go and get rid of at the con. At the con, this 600 is going to disappear. So you'll get that 600 back into your actual everyday budget 7 to 10 business days after the con it comes back. 2440 is what you won't get back, period. This is money that you're pretty much going to be spending, period. So $2,500 is genuinely what you're spending on Anime Expo. The other 1,000 of this is money that slowly comes off, but this is the actual number of money you're going to be spending that weekend at Anime Expo. It's 2,440. This includes your hotel, Ubers, your food. This includes your spending money. All that's in that 2,440. This is minus the hotel deposit. The 600 is something you give them, but you'll get that back. This 2,440 is money you're not going to get back. This is just money you're going to spend out, and that's dope. This is your have fun money. You're going to spend this out. But the 600 again, you get that back. Our flight we pay in March or whatever in February, so you don't have to worry about that. Your ticket is gone. You don't have to worry about that. Now 2,440 seems like a big number, but there are exactly 173 days to Anime Expo. Exactly 173 days. So 2,440 is the number we're trying to get to. With it being 173 days to Anime Expo, if you manage to save literally $10 a day, you're almost at your cost. This is just your lunch. Pack your lunch. eat your lunch at home, do some things like that. You could save that money if you manage to save just $20 a day on average. This doesn't mean you have to put $20 away every day. This doesn't mean that some days you don't you put zero in. Some days you may have zero. Other days you may have 40. But if you average $20 a day, then 34.60. You pay for the con, saving that much money every day. Guys, give me 2 seconds. Okay, back at it. So, with that being said, $20 a day is 34.60, bro. And then if you really want to ball out for the con, 173 days. If you manage to save $30 a day, bro, it takes care of itself. Even if you subtract the big number we came up with, what is it, 366.5 or some shit like that, 1,500 is left. This is after you've paid for hotel, flight, this is after you've paid for food, stuff at the con, everything. After you pay for everything, 1525 is left. So you can literally take care of this con just by saving a little here and there. So if you just budget yourself, I know if you have Cash App, I know a lot of savings accounts do it. If you just move $10 a day to your bank account, to your savings account, $20 a day to your savings account, literally 173, that's 20, and bro, cons paid for. And that's just if you say, this is if you save to Anime Expo. And if you take out all the money we just spent, and this is minus the ticket and this is minus flight and ticket. So it was left with right around 3K. Then, bro, I did that so wrong. The point is, you got about $500 on top of what you need. So it's not as bad when you factor in if you can break it down over time and save over time. So it's a lot easier that way. So, hey, this is what I say do. This is how much Anime Expo costs. This is kind of what you're going to expect for pricing. This is kind of what you're going to expect for different things. Um, and honestly, this is what I'd expect if I was you guys. We've done this a couple times now, so we kind of generally know what to expect on our end. We are going to always do what we always do. I'm bailing out for LA. Not gonna lie, I'm going to some fancy. I'm balling out for LA. I'm going to some fancy restaurants, bakeries downtown, Santa Monica. Hey, I'm not mad at you. If you're gonna ball out, bro. Go have fun. Hit the Brazilian steakhouse. We had two of them. We're in LA, and both of them were fire. Both of them was fire. One was better than the other, though. I think the one we hit the first time was better. I think that was H&H or something like that. That one was really good. That was a good Brazilian steakhouse. But yeah, bro, it kind of pays for itself. It takes time, it takes patience, to save some of that money up, but over time you'll hit the numbers you need to hit. So that's what you guys are looking for. I'm glad you guys stayed here while we broke this down. I'm glad we can get this put together for you. I don't even know how long we've been streaming, but I'm glad we got this figured out. Now, with that being said, if you got any questions, hit us on Instagram, AB3Anime, comment down below on the channel. And we'll get back to you on that, on any question you guys have. And also, if you, I was going to say something else. What was I going to say? Oh, also, if you have any suggestions for videos, you can comment, you can email us. Our email info is on the YouTube channel. If you want to become a channel member, we do have channel memberships. Our content is always free. So if you think you're gaining anything like that, maybe when we go to Anime Expo, we might do some member exclusive content for the con. But generally speaking, all our advice and everything is free on our channel. But if you do want to donate to the channel or have a channel membership, we have those as well. So feel free. We do super chats and all that stuff as well. But I appreciate you guys. Thanks for being here as always. We will continue to give you guys the news for the con when we get it, and we will continue to give you guys a couple of advice things when it's coming. Here soon, Eric will be back in the fold. Like I said, he's got some stuff. We got to get to him, so he'll be up and running soon. But I appreciate you guys, and hey, see you guys in the next stream.